Right, so we have good news here. My guest has made it here, and my guest this afternoon is Regina Brandow. And Regina is an attorney admitted to the New York State Second Department and the U.S. Court of Appeals Second Department. Brandow Law is devoted to working with clients on an individualized basis. The practice is concentrated on estate planning for persons with disabilities and their families, including elder law. Ms. Brandow is a certified hearing officer with the New York State Department of Education and an active member of the Circuit Court Decision-Making Committee. She also serves various organizations and or boards, including Nassau-Suffolk Law Services Advisory Council and Estate and Special Needs Planning Committees. Regina recently graduated from Stony Brook University with a postgraduate certificate in healthcare finance and management. You may reach Regina at her phone, 631-675-2540, or visit her website at www.brandowlaw.com. She's also on Facebook and LinkedIn. And all that contact information is available on my playlist. So if you go to wusb.fm and click on the playlist, you don't have to worry about trying to remember that information. So without further ado, Regina, welcome to the program, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Sue. It's a pleasure. Sorry I'm a little late. I should have walked here instead of driven. I am an attorney.
It's complicated here.
Yeah, it is, with one-ways and crosswalks. I'm an attorney, as you had introduced me, that concentrates with individuals and families with disabilities. I think it's a difficult field to be in as an attorney, and also for those individuals. The individuals with disabilities, it's a quagmire, if I could say, of the benefits that they do have available, that they are entitled to or need. And a lot of these individuals need assistance to understand these benefits and how it impacts them in their daily life.
How did you wind up going into, all the areas of law to practice? How did you wind up in this little nook and cranny?
I started out volunteering at two places. At the Seniors Division for Legal Aid. And that was a wonderful experience working with attorneys and paralegals, understanding the difficulties that seniors have in the community. And then I started also working in Long Island Advocacy Center as a special ed attorney. At the time, one of my children needs services, so I became familiar with those type of, that law.
That's a very common way to get into an area of expertise, right?
Yeah.
When you need it for yourself.
Yes. And then I had aging parents. So, of course, with the elder law, that was a real life experience for me. And what was nice about volunteering for these not-for-profits, you got on the phone with the individuals and you got to speak with them one-on-one and understood and could hear the troubles that they were going through. So from there, I started my own practice with another attorney, and I thereafter went solo in 2010.
So tell us, one of the things that I ask my guests to do is to talk in depth about one thing, kind of get into a little bit of a story. So hopefully we didn't get a chance to chat because we wound up zipping in here at the last minute.
Oh, I have many stories.
So one of the things that I think about, I think that there are probably most of the people in the listening audience probably have no idea really what guardianship is or why would you need it, or because I think the people that need those services, you're not running into them at the supermarket or you're not seeing them out at the club on a Saturday night. So unless you've got somebody with those needs in your family, you might not be in tune to all of the different things around it. So maybe to give an example of someone who was really able to benefit by being able to tap into those services that they might not otherwise have been able to.
So guardianship is actually a very broad topic because that could impact a number of different individuals. It could impact infants that don't have parents. It could also impact individuals with certain disabilities that lack the requisite capacity to make decisions for themselves. And also individuals with mental health diagnosis that are unable to make rational decisions and actually may be even delusional at times. And then the elderly, which people are most familiar with, the Alzheimer's and the dementia. So guardianship, depending upon who the individual is, how it's impacting that lack of capacity, a person, or they need to go to an attorney that is familiar into what jurisdiction, what avenue to proceed in. And it's not an easy type of proceeding depending upon what the circumstances are.
Right. Now, sometimes people would be doing this because they're participating and they want a family member to make sure they have all the help that they can have, right? So that's one example.
Actually, if the person has a requisite capacity, they could sign off on advance directives. I'm a real big proponent on advance directives because that would prevent a guardianship proceeding. A guardianship proceeding is very difficult for the individual because I do want to respect the individual regardless of their disability, their mental health or, Alzheimer's or dementia, because they want to have some control and autonomy in life. So if they could, while they are able to, I would strongly recommend to execute advance directives such as a healthcare proxy or a power of attorney. If not, that's when you go to a proceeding such as a guardianship. And it's lovely if the family members are very supportive in that effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, what are some of the kinds of things that these people might need help coordinating?
They need help coordinating, number one, benefits, which is Social Security or Medicaid benefits that they may be entitled to, veterans benefits. The other things that they would need assistance with is the day-to-day decisions that they make in their home, their apartment, paying the bills, even making personal choices of where to live and how to live.
Wow. So what you do is help people who need that kind of guidance in their lives connect with appropriate entities to help them? Is that the work that you do?
Yes, with the appropriate entities, and then I guide them into the direction where they want to go. We don't get out of life alive, essentially. So there are some serious decisions that someone has to make in planning for, unfortunately, if I get hit on the head and I'm diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury, to when I pass. So I think people need to be proponents of how they want to live, and in order to do so, they need to plan.
All right. So, and what is a way to do that? So I know for myself, I guess I can't think about some of the examples you gave of people who would be needing this. Probably the one that is most resonates is aging parents or people who have capacity and then they lose it or they are losing it. So that sounds like that would be a time to try to get some things set up legally so that they can take care of that while they still have that capacity.
Yes, those are more the imminent types of needs. But honestly, anyone that's over 18 years of age should be signing advance directives because a person never knows when something may happen that I may become diagnosed with schizophrenia one day. It is a mental health diagnosis that does impact adults. I may be injured in a car accident, as an example, traumatic brain injury. My mother had dementia. My father, near his end of his life, had dementia. That may be my future also. So, but again, anyone over 18, when kids go to college, that's very important for parents to support them and be able to talk to other entities on behalf of their children.
Wow, I never even thought about that. So we've read recently in the news some terrible stories about things that happen to young people where they're away at college and something terrible happens. So it sounds like that would be something that you would need to have in play because technically you're an adult, right? And you aren't able to make the decisions, so you do want to make sure that your parents are still able to make your decisions.
Well, yes, to help you make those decisions and perhaps speak to the doctor if you're
incapacitated.
Yes.
I never even thought about that. Now, is that something that schools proactively do? They make sure that there's paperwork in place so that while the student is in charge, is being taken care of at the school, that if something needs to happen, that those decision-making responsibilities are transferred around.
Schools are not charged with educating parents in what happens after they turn 18, but parents learn fast and hard when they call a school or a college and they want to speak to someone. Even though they're paying the bills, the school will not speak with them. The medical facility will not speak with them. So that's when they learn the hard lesson. I would say some of the school districts on Long Island do try to educate parents, especially for those students with disabilities, that you need to put plans in place, and they're actually charged with that. And I do a lot of parent training.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. So my guest this afternoon's been Regina Brandow. She is an attorney, and she I lost your little thing here. She specializes in estate planning for people with disabilities and their families, including elder law, and she does a lot of guardianship work. And if you have any questions about any of the things that we've talked about today, you can reach her at 631-675-2540, or she's got a website, brandowlaw.com. And you can also find her on Facebook and LinkedIn. And if you didn't follow any of that, you can just go to my playlist, wusb.fm, and contact information for both of my guests is there. So, Regina, I want to thank you for taking the time today to come on the air with me.
Oh, it's been so much fun. I love this studio. I've never been in a radio station.
We do, too. This is all brand new. You wouldn't believe what we had before this. So I want to make